Welcome to Royal Secrets. Despite claiming that he should be spared from planning the coronation of the king, the Duke who organized the Queen's burial is forced to abstain from driving. At Lavender Hill Magistrates Court, Edward Fitzalan Howard, the 65-year-old Earl Marshal, was given a 6-month driving prohibition. God's Grace the Duke of Norfolk admitted to using his cell phone while driving on one count and was responsible for organizing Her Majesty's royal burial. The Platinum Jubilee and the state opening of Parliament are two of the significant occasions that the hereditary peer oversees for the royal family. His Grace received a driving prohibition in addition to an £800 fine, £350 in expenses, and an £80 victim surcharge. Additionally, the Duke was assessed 6 penalties points for using his cell phone. A court heard that on April 7, after his BMW ran a red light in Battersea Park Road, officers observed him using the device and pulled him over. The Duke argued in court that losing his ability to drive would put extreme hardship on his ability to perform his job. He maintained that in order to organize King Charles III's grandiose coronation, he needed to keep his driving privileges. "I need my 4-wheel drive to go around," the Duke declared. "There is no other way to go to Norfolk, therefore I always drive there. 4 miles separate my home from my office in Arundel. I have the money to pay a driver, but I doubt there would be enough of them to get me where I need to go at the correct time. I aim to be straightforward and unassuming. I adore being simple. I enjoy driving my ancient BMW to my destination. A driving prohibition will significantly reduce my maneuverability." The Duke continued, saying he drives around the South Downs a tremendous amount of time to see and monitor the return of nature. "Global warming is a significant threat to life as we know it on Earth, but the collapse of nature will spell the end of humanity," he declared. The Duke listed Arundel Castle as his residence because he is also Earl of Arundel. The defense attorney, Natasha Dardashti, claimed the Duke has vast and very peculiar responsibilities. "He must be able to drive in order to plan a sizable event that is crucial to the UK's economy," she said. "Anyone can understand that the coronation of King Charles III is a significant event in the history of this country and that it is a huge undertaking. He has to be able to move around in order to accomplish his goals." A magistrates' court presided over by Judith Way, however, was unmoved and gave him 6 points and a 6-month driving suspension. "We recognize that the defendant's position in society, particularly in respect to the king's coronation, makes this a special situation," Ms. Way added. "The hardship needs to be exceptional, and while inconvenience may be caused, we don't find it to be an exceptional hardship," she continued. "We think there are other ways to deal with hardships." The 18th Duke of Norfolk, who took up the role after his father's passing in 2002, is the current Earl Marshal. He is an Oxford-educated father of 5 who is descended from Elizabeth I and was in charge of planning the Queen's legendary send-off. The Duke characterized planning the Queen's burial as an honor and a big duty, and both humbling and terrifying. Last Monday, 2,000 people, including world leaders and foreign royals, gathered inside Westminster Abbey in London for the nation's longest reigning monarch's final farewell. Millions of people watched the occasion live throughout the world, and the Duke of Norfolk took part in the royal cortege that the Royal Navy used to pull the state hearse. The Queen and Prince Philip were joined in death after her funeral when his casket was brought to be with her in their final resting place. Her Majesty is interred at Windsor Castle's King George VI Memorial Chapel, a section of St. George's. In another news, if the Duke of Sussex dampens assaults in his memoir, Prince Harry warned, the reward will be cut in half. The Duke of Sussex has been warned that if he dampens down criticism of his family in his memoir, he risked losing a sizable compensation. Of the £35 million book deal, which includes 4 books, Prince Harry received £17.5 million. One of the books will be published this year. But by attempting to alter some of the book's stories, the Duke has thrown a wrench in the works. Robert Jobson, a royal scholar, said Harry must own every word in the book. Mr. Jobson remarked in an interview with Sunrise on Australian television. "As it's an autobiography, we know it was written by someone else, but the reality is, he's got to own every word, doesn't he? Regardless of how you view the story, if others don't agree, there will be an issue since William and his father will exploit it as their story. Because she might claim that it was written by Andrew Morton, he hasn't even finished Diana, her true story. He was the author of this. I don't know if he can tone it down because if he does then the publishers might come around and say we don't want to pay you the remainder of the money he's been paid. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex and other members of the royal family have been united in sadness since the Queen's passing, despite their tumultuous relationship in recent years. The likelihood of a reconciliation between Harry, the Prince of Wales, and their father King Charles III has been raised in light of this. Although the Duke has stepped down from his royal duties and was not allowed to wear a uniform on Monday, he stood by William for the state burial for their late grandmother. Along with the other royals that travelled to Windsor for the committal service and burial, which will see the Queen and the brother's grandfather, the Duke of Edinburgh, laid to rest side by side, were Harry and Meghan. After leaving their positions as senior working royals, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex built a new life for themselves. Harry and Meghan made headlines all over the world when they quit their royal duties and stopped dressing in HRH attire. Later, when they accused the royal family of misconduct, they sparked even more controversy. Since leaving the royal family, Harry and Meghan, parents to Archie and Lily, have participated in a number of interviews, including a shocking one with US talk show host Oprah Winfrey in 2021. They claim that an unnamed member of the royal family made a racist remark about Archie before he was born and that the institution failed to assist a suicidal Meghan. They also accused the royal family of racism. Meghan publicly singled out the Duchess of Cambridge for reportedly making her cry in the lead-up to the wedding. In a more recent interview, Meghan made news for her comments that forgiving takes a lot of effort and that she can say anything. Prior to their resignation as active royals, Meghan claimed that she and Harry were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy just by existing, she stated. Harry appeared to issue a subliminal warning to those closest to the Queen during an interview with NBC's Today Show while in The Hague for the Invictus Games earlier this year. He said he wanted to make sure his grandmother was protected and had the right people around.